Hi everyone, it's me. And yeah, I'm making this random video and you will probably see it the next day because it's like almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I just have to say that I went to a wake. Some guy that I know, his wife passed away. I didn't know him that well. I knew him, I guess, in the past. I mean, I knew him as a friend way back when, and I went. I just felt the need to go to this week. And I don't know about any of you, but I know that just as a sign of respect, I go over to the person who has passed. If I know them or I don't know them, and I say a prayer, I kneel down, I say a prayer, and I always touch their arm, not necessarily the skin, it could be their arm, whatever, and I just pray to them. As I'm looking at this woman, I noticed that her hair was so thin, so thin. And she had such a pretty face, and she was young. She had to be like in her early 40s. Very pretty. And this might sound crazy, I don't know. It'll make me cry, but I looked on her face and she looked sad, like her eyes just looked, and they were closed obviously, but there was a sadness to the shape of her eye. I looked at her face and instantly I was drawn to her, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, okay, this woman is so beautiful, but she has such sadness on her face. So I think I met her once or twice, but it was in the winter, so we were ice skating, so she had like a hat on. So I didn't know that her hair was so thin like that. And so I went over to John, her husband, and we were talking, and I said, I never knew her hair was so thin. Was she sick? And he's like, no, she always had this since we've been together. And you know, I told her it never bothered me, but it always bothered her. She just didn't want to put on wigs. She didn't know how to put on wigs, and so she just decided to be carefree with her hair. But she was so sad inside because she knew everybody was looking at her, and it would make her sad. And he said many times she came home and she would cry, and he just kept telling her, I love you, I love you. I guess maybe that wasn't, are you okay, Lola? I guess maybe that wasn't enough for her, but being that the place is in the area where I live, and I just felt like I might be stepping over the line by saying this, but I knew him for a long time, and I felt like maybe I could speak to him. And I just went over to him and I said, listen, John, I know how she feels. I know how she felt. And he's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I went, no, John, this is in the middle of the place. John, stop it. I do. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to feel like this, to feel sad, to feel like people are looking at you all the time. I know what that feels like firsthand, and it is the worst feeling in the world because nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to deal. It's like you become like this person that is not on their level. That's how I felt. I don't know about certain people, but that's how I felt. I felt when I would come into contact with somebody that they were constantly looking at the top of my head. I had friends doing it, you know. I was feeling conscious all the time. And it wasn't too long ago that I asked my kids if they can start practicing doing my hair for when I pass away. Isn't that terrible that I gotta think this way? But I try to hide my baldness in life. The last moment I want somebody to see me, that I don't want them to see me, is bald. Because I know, even though I'm in that casket, I know, I'm going to feel embarrassed. I feel it. I feel it. I feel like my soul is going to still be there, and I'm not going to be able to speak. And I'm going to say, someone get a topper on me. Somebody get a wig on me. I put a kerchief on me. Do something, please. I don't want people seeing me like this. I don't want my husband seeing me like this. So I took him aside. I showed him my head. The tears started coming down his eyes, and he's like, I never knew. And I'm like, and I never knew about your wife. And if I knew about your wife and her problem, I would have helped her. I would have helped her. I don't like to see anyone sad like that. Nobody, God, nobody should ever have to go through life sad like that, you know? I know a lot of women don't want to wear wigs because they feel like it's going to look it's gonna look fake. There's so many ways. Like, I wish I known, like, I would help her. I would have helped her make it look real, and you see my toppers on me and how I feel. It has changed my life. It has given me the confidence to do whatever it is I wanted to do in my life, and still does. And I cannot picture somebody going through life like that. It just makes me really upset. So basically, this is what I did. Being that I was like, maybe I would say about 10 blocks away from my house, I said, listen, I'm not doing this for anybody but her. I want to go home, I want to get a topper, and I want to put it on her. Because you have 2 more days. Well, yeah, it was the rest of that day and another day and the funeral. 2 more days of people viewing her. And I feel like she would really want something covering her head. And I asked if that's something, because I don't know her personally, I asked if that's something that he thinks that she would have wanted. And he cried, and he said yes. And I went home, I got my car, went home, I got a topper that I thought would fit her perfectly. It was one of my 5x5s from Uniwigs. It was plucked. It was one of my favorite 5x5 toppers. And I went there and I said, let me put it on her. And I sat there, I clipped it in her hair. I had my little brush, and I brushed it a certain way. And let me just tell you how beautiful she looked. And I cried because I know that if I was ever in that position, I would want somebody to do that for me. I'm not saying anybody that is balding or thinning hair, that God forbid something happens to you, that you're going to feel that way, or people are going to feel that way looking at you. I'm speaking about me personally, and I know the sadness she was feeling, so I helped her and I put it on her head. And he cried because she looked so beautiful, and he said, I wish I would have known that you had thinning hair and that you were hiding it so well, because you could have helped my wife. And we both just hugged each other, and everybody walked in. Now, everybody's used to seeing her with thin hair, but everybody walked in and they were just raving about how beautiful and peaceful she looked. And I have to tell you, and it's kind of weird, it's kind of weird, but when I went up to that coffin, I did not see the sadness in her eyes. It's like as if it went away. It looked like it just went away. And I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I do know that I feel that she knew I helped her, and she had her last days of being viewed happy. I believe happy. So my point here is, do not wait. If you're embarrassed, if you're self-conscious about your hair, do something. Reach out to me. Reach out. There's so many women on YouTube. Reach out to them. Don't feel embarrassed. Come to us and help, and we'll help. I do giveaways on this channel, and I would love to give away a topper to someone in need, someone who's sad, someone who has kids, or the kid, how kids are. They are very, very cruel, and kids can be very embarrassing. Like, oh, where's your hair? Why does your hair look like that? You know, I've had it done to me. So I know that you're tired of wearing baseball caps and headbands. And for those of you who don't, you know, that it doesn't bother, I I don't feel bad for you at all. I applaud you because you do have the bravery to go out like that. There are women that just sit there and say, you know what, I'm balding in the front, and they shave their head. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's woman power, that's being strong, that's doing it. But there are so many of you that cannot do that. And you know, this is not an advertisement for Uniwigs, for my no track pieces. It's not. If you need someone to talk to, I can just talk to you. I can help you. I like to do live streams, and if you want to do one-on-one or something with me, I would do it. I just want to help. I want to help you guys out, and I don't want anybody to end up in a coffin looking sad because they didn't do anything for themselves. You know, you have one life to live. If there's something you want to do, you have to do it because life goes by so fast. And that's it. And just feel in your heart. Don't feel bad about yourself. You're awesome. You're beautiful. You're beautiful with I'm beautiful. I'm even with this. I'm beautiful. That's how I feel. I feel that you're beautiful, and you have to feel that inside. You have to have self-confidence in yourself, because without that, I mean, oh, it's just depressing, you know? If you're feeling down, get yourself up. Get yourself up. It's so worth it. It really is. And I guess that's all I want to say. I don't know. I basically came on here to tell you the story about John and his wife. And it's not to gloat like, oh, and I helped a woman that passed away. Nothing. Although it does feel good, because I really do feel like she was happy after that. It's crazy, but I'm proud of myself that I was able to help her in her last moments here. Yeah. And that's it. I am going to bed now. It is very, very late, and that felt good to let out a little bit of a cry. So I hope you guys have a great night. Stay positive and get the confidence back. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. You're going to have a better life. I'm telling you, you're going to feel better about yourself. And remember, you're beautiful no matter what. Hair, no hair, you are beautiful, and you are worth happiness. So go out there and get it, okay? I love you all. Bye, guys.